Oh, hey, welcome. Noam Chomsky can't be certain, but his own view is that the CIA is very much under the control of the executive power. He studied those records fairly extensively, and in many cases, it's very rare for the CIA to undertake initiatives on its own. Yeah, I would say so. I agree with Noam. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I comment on the news. This is like a news vlog. Lots of opinions flying around all the time. Everything I say is an opinion piece. I'll tell you about the news and then I'll mouth off with some opinions. And then you chime in with your sauce box and you leave some comments and you join the conversation. So if you like to mouth off with your sauce box, virtually, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can be a part of the conversation. I think everyone should be up on the news, you know? What do you do at work when someone goes to the water cooler? Everybody's hanging out, not working hard or hardly working. And somebody's like, oh, did you hear? President Don Taco, old stank face, old resting this parade sucks face. When Don Taco says, I'm not going to call Governor Walz. I don't care that there was a tragedy in his state and lawmakers that were elected were hunted down. And when Don Taco says, I'm not going to call him, it'd be a waste of time. What do you, keep drinking water? You just go, excuse me, I'm just trying to get to the water? Or do you comment? Do you say, of course, Don Taco is a transactional person. If he can't get nothing from you, he don't want to be bothered. Everything he does is transactional. And if you're wondering, being a transactional person is not a good thing. Think about the friend. I'm going to break this down. What's up, Tamara? I want you to think about the friend in your life, the family member, the acquaintance who calls you. And you know when you see that phone ringing, they want something. They don't want to know how you're doing. I want you to think about this. There is somebody in all of our lives that when that phone rings, when you see that text alert from this person, you know they're not checking up on you. They don't want to know how life's going. They need something from you. And what do we collectively do with that person? We go, oh, what do they need? What do they need? What do they need? We all have that person in our life, correct? Accuse Toms, real. We can all agree, right? Naveed. That's a cool name. Naveed. Unless you put your name in backwards and it's Divin. Aspen Pierce. Sup. But we all hey, what's up, Zach? Good to see you. We all hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, join the conversation. Look at all these people mouthing off with their sauce box, adding to the conversation. I love it. But we all have that person that will reach out to us in life. And we know, as soon as you see that name, you go, oh, damn it. What do they need? Money, a ride, something? They're going to ask for something, right? Thank you, Naveed. Thank you for subscribing. And hit the notification bell so you can join me. I go live every weekday. It's like vlog style news, a lot of opinions. We talk about some trending stuff. We're going to talk about Roblox. I'm very proud of Roblox and the kids making Roblox an active protest zone. But we'll talk about that in a second. So we all know that person. And we all collectively roll our eyes. And I don't think any of us, some of us might be that person. Heck, I know I've been that person a good share of the time. Most of the time, I like to try to stay in touch with people. But I just did it this week. I reached out to someone and I needed something. I wasn't checking in with them. And I love this person and they know I love them. And sometimes I'll check in. But sometimes you just go to them when you need something, right? And I'm guilty of that. But I actively try not to be that transactional person. I actively try not to be someone who the first time these people hear from me in a long time, I just need something. I like to just keep in touch because I love humans. Well, our president is a person who could not give a rip how you're doing. And in fact, he only cares about you if he can benefit from whatever you bring to the table. We should all aspire to not be like that human. This guy has based his entire existence. But what do you expect when he dropped out of his mom's pooper and he was born with a golden spoon, born into a millionaire family, born into an estate? He's the heir of Fred Trump. He's done nothing on his own, and he was, shaped and molded to be a transactional person. The only way you do dealings with someone is if they're winners and you're winning from them. And it would be no surprise when you read the news today and see that the president of America was like, yeah, I know there's a tragedy. I know lawmakers were assassinated in Minnesota. I'm not going to do the typical thing and call the governor and offer my condolences. That would be a waste of time. I would hope that in the wake of a tragedy, all of us, whether you like that person or not, this is really a testament to your character, that you can at least, try to offer condolences. You can go out of your way to be like, that is tragic what happened. There is one person I can guarantee you that we are going to celebrate, like Prince once said, like it's 1999, when Don Taco finally departs this mortal coil. When he leaves, oh, fuck. You can only help it happens where, like, he poops his pants leaving a plane or something. And that scares him so bad that stops his heart. I don't know. You can only hope for it to be the most hilarious leaving of this mortal coil there ever was. He's surprised, poops his pants, and has a heart attack. And the AP is there to catch it all on film. Oh, I would make that into a t-shirt. This is the only time you see me wearing a presidential t-shirt. Oh, you guys see my Father's Day gift? Oh, I gotta not take off both shirts. My goodness. Oh, God. My favorite shirt ever. I'll wear this forever. Big fan of the work he did, saving lives. So welcome. We're going to talk about the largest protest in U.S. history, No King's Day, this past weekend. If you partook, my hat's off to you. I don't wear a hat, but my, whatever this is, my headscarf off to you, because you helped make it a 5 million strong protest. It's amazing, some of the pundits, some of the people like me who entertain you with their commentary on the news. Some of these people are like, we don't want to go to Iran, like John Stewart said. No more wars in the Middle East, but we certainly want a war in LA. I love LA. And they got some damn good food too. And it's just amazing. Be careful of people. If you hear people saying they don't want the president to engage in war, but they want the president to send the Marines to a U.S. city, be weary of those folks, okay? Be weary. That's my advice. They don't want the best for you. They're not sending their best. In fact, sometimes the presidents are grapists and not good people. Oh, we have fun, But what is life? That's what I ask you. But what is life? No one has a good answer for it. Some people that you see on TikTok think life is about working 140 hours a week and then bragging about it while you still can't buy a home and you vote for eggs. I say life is about the art you create. And that art could be, many different things. The relationships could be art. So remember that. Take notes. All right. The No Kings protest they said 4 to 6 million people showed up. Very, very excited, very proud of the Americans who went out to that. And what I didn't know is that Roblox, if you know what Roblox is, you're probably young. I know, because I got kids, and you got to be aware of what they're doing online. And there's a game in Roblox called Brookhaven. And this game, I think you got to pay to play this game. Roblox, what the heck? You're supposed to be a free app. I've always thought that it's genius. The people who create these games within Roblox, like, I wish I knew how to do that. Does anybody know how to do that? I have a great idea for a Roblox game. I've tried to design one on my computer, and every time I tried to demo it, it would just crash. Ugh. But I have this great idea, so write me in the comments if you know how to develop Roblox games. Because I got $1 million idea, baby. It's called Free Luigi. The year is Earth, 2024. Health corporations and CEOs run amok. The people are so oppressed, they're voting on the price of eggs. Snapshot into America. People can't afford life-saving medical cures and treatments that have been given to other citizens of countries for decades now. And you are the one and only savior, Luigi, an Italian hunk who has all the right ideas. So if you know how to develop a Roblox game, hit me up, okay? That's not actually the game. I was joking. I have a real game that I've been trying to design. But now that I say that, copyright, patent pending, nobody steal that idea. The Free Luigi Roblox game, I think, is great. And plus, it teaches kids morals. You know, you can't be a greed monster. You can't be a CEO greed monster and withhold medications and treatments and doctor's appointments from people. Because if you do, you know, Jesus fucking hates you and he sends people after you. He sends Saint Luigi for you. Free Luigi. Ice Ice Baby. Woo, how old are you? You're my generation, General Radon. Oh, shit, do I salute a general? How do I salute a general? Where's your first name, General? Did your parents call you General? My goodness. Now that's a fucking jaded name if I've ever heard one. Mason. That's a name that I don't get. I understand why people name it, but every time I hear Mason, I think Mason Jar, and I just would never name my kid Mason Jar. So Roblox, Brookhaven, 16, play Roblox. Hey, listen, my kids, I play Roblox with my kids all the time. They don't let me, and sometimes they're like, can you just grind this out for me? But I think it's cool. Listen, I grew up at a time where Nintendo had just hit the scene, and if you knew someone to go and play Mario Brothers, that was like, it changed your life. You were like, what is that? What a video game. It was absolutely insanity. And you go to the movie theaters just because they would have an arcade game. They had the TMNT arcade game at the movie theaters. You wouldn't even, I left movies to go play the arcade game. So now that you guys got like Roblox on your phone, I think that's cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm lackadaisical in my parenting, but I think it's cool, all this stuff. I hate that there's predators on there. I mean, that's a big downside. That's why you gotta be aware. But I think the technology is so cool and so fascinating. And it's so interesting to watch kids grow up and then develop things that they grew up using. Anyways, on Brookhaven in Roblox, there were protests over the weekend. People... If you don't know what the Roblox avatars are, I linked down in the description the article to this, and they have snapshots and TikToks of it. It is so funny and so adorable. They're the most adorable protests you've ever witnessed. I mean, the only way these protests get more adorable is if people start bringing kittens to them, you know? Or maybe they just set up, that's a good idea. Maybe I do a cat calendar, a kitten protest calendar. Holy shit. That's a great idea. And that's the only way. So these Roblox avatars, I always thought it was so funny. I would make my daughter, I'd just be like, can you jump with your character? Because when they jump, they just do this like weird robotic jump in Roblox. And it just made me laugh. I don't know. It was like Jack Black doing something, you know? It's just funny. It has a good vibes. The oof, oof, and the jumping in Roblox is the most adorable Jack Black charisma jump you've ever seen. It's so hilarious to me. And in Brookhaven, a game in Roblox, kids had created a barricade. They put street cones, and they also had protest signs saying "Get ICE out of LA," "F you ICE," which is hilarious. And I hope this catches fire. I hope this becomes viral. That's why I wanted to share it with you, because I think this is such a great way for kids to be active, to learn about civil disobedience, to understand the real fabric of America is right here in the protest. Remember, folks, when you learn about the Boston Tea Party in 3rd grade or whatever, the people who participated in the Boston Tea Party, they weren't like, we should just do this the proper way and hold up signs at the ocean and hope King George sees them. They were like, no, we're going to destroy his property. We're going to send a clear message. And that's before our country was started, so this is ingrained in us as Americans. And I don't care where you're from, but if you're here now, it's part of your history too. Okay? So I think it's amazing that the virtual space, especially kids, got active and took it upon themselves to create protests in Roblox against ICE. I think it's a safe, healthy way. I think we need to develop this for VR. I wish I knew how to develop games, because I would create a whole game surrounding this. This would be absolutely incredible. And if you want to see the pictures, they're down below. I link all the articles I plan on talking about, like Don Taco, President Don Taco, the most transactional man in history, saying, I'm not going to call Tim Walz, it would be a waste of time. That article's down below. If you want to learn more about the No Kings protest and the next one coming up, July 17th, article down below. They say it was the biggest one in history, which I'm proud to be alive for that. That's a cool thing. And it's a cool reason people are getting together and going out. If you see all the old people and all the old folks and the veterans that were coming out and everybody supporting, it's pretty amazing. Pretty as stunning and shocking as this fascist regime is. These people who just want total control, nobody to critique or be able to say anything. They want to get rid of free speech while they're telling you they're the arbiters of it. These people who are all out ready to crush anyone who speaks out against them, crush dissent. It's also an amazing time to witness the people who stand up against this. Remember that throughout history, okay? Throughout all of history. During slavery, there were people that stood up. Harriet Tubman said, nope, I ain't having it. Not only am I going to free myself, but I'm going to go back and save over 200 people. Bubbles, you don't have to care. The YouTube's a big space, my friend. Okay? Go and blow some bubbles. You can leave. You don't need to care. But a lot of people do. Over 5 million people cared enough this weekend to go out. And that's fine, There's a lot of people like you that are like, I don't care. I live in my parents' house. I don't have to worry about bills. Or you're like, my life is just good enough. Next generation, I don't care. I'm the opposite. I care a lot. So if you don't care, that's fine. That is 100% your freedom to do that in America. And that's the thing that Don Taco, President Don Taco, old stank face, old resting bad parade face, he wants to get rid of that freedom. Oh, Bubbles. Sad, sad. Sad, sad man. Sad, sad man. And what is the idea behind your commentary? Are you just another Trump supporter? Because these people that are just exhaustingly ready to defend a fascist, an authoritarian, a person who will not even show the compassion to other political representatives. I don't have time, to engage. So again, Bubbles, you probably have many friends. Go to them on YouTube. Go, Bubbles. Go. It's sad though, because your mindset is all wrong. Our tax dollars are meant to help our community. It shows how little you understand about what taxes are supposed to do. Unfortunately, your Don Taco, the president, wants to make a permanent corporate tax cut to 17 or 20%. Their tax rate used to be 80, 60, 80, 90% in the 40s and 50s. And those taxes went back to our communities for people who needed housing, food, healthcare, like the things you're listing. This is the most insane thing. And they're like, how come these poor, the most vulnerable people, the people who would need housing, food, and healthcare, how come they're getting it with our tax dollars? Why don't you focus on why are these corporations getting to hoard billions of dollars and not pay their fair share in taxes? I have no problem with my tax money going to help the most vulnerable in our society, and I never will. That's why we were supposed to pay taxes, to make sure we have roads, to make sure people don't go hungry, to serve a collective good. But unfortunately, a lot of our budget goes to those squeaky tanks you heard, and to the military, and to bombs, and to all these things. But the biggest gripe I have is that these corporations, and go look it up, these corporations, these CEOs that have more money than they could ever spend, they can't spend all this money. They want more tax breaks, while you and I will be on the hook for it. These people, the corporations and CEOs that never worry about rent, probably have private doctors. I have problems with subsidizing them because our tax dollars, because they don't pay their fair share, our tax dollars have to help out the people that they don't pay enough. That's the real issue. It's not that people are getting Section 8. Great, good, more people should. You should have housing stipends. Nobody in America should go homeless or go hungry or get hurt and not be able to afford something or afford insulin. Like, that's what makes our country great. That we have no hungry child in America. But that's not the truth. And it's mostly not the truth because so many people, mostly the most wealthy, exploit your mind. They have co-opted your mind to think, to blame the poor people, the most vulnerable, the most in need, like they're the issue. And it's not that when they get a job, the job doesn't pay enough, so they have to have food stamps so they can fucking live. You should have a problem, and we should be all saying, billionaires, if you don't want to pay your fair share in taxes, if you don't want to pay, and not what's in the code is corrupt. It's written by them. They fucking lobby our politicians to write it for them. That's why there's a yacht tax break in the tax code. We should be saying you guys need to be paying anything over $999 million taxed at 100%. And that way, no kid in America will go hungry. Because right now, 1 in 5 children are food insecure. Meanwhile, there's a few people, mostly CEOs and the board members, that could eat 100 meals a day and never go broke. It's such a warped mindset. So, and don't say this, don't like it, leave. Because my family, my history in this country is if we don't like it, we fucking push for change. You were the people in the South that were going, you don't like slavery, it's the law, leave. And my family said, fuck you, and we're going to change it. I ain't going nowhere, okay? You can sit there with your status quo, but again, I've told you, get out of my YouTube. You can go anywhere. Go to Charlie Kirk. I'm sure he'll echo all the sentiments that make you feel nice and warm inside and say, you know what the real problem in America is? And tell you that it's immigrants. It's funny how it's always like, you know, the immigrants from the southern border. Because there's more immigrants here. Why is it the South African immigrants? That motherfucker has laid off more people, cost more people their job than any other immigrant I know. Elon Musk, illegal immigrant. But you don't care about him. It's funny. Don't get that job. Get a better job. Oh, how fucking old are you? Do you not... You guys are like a Fox News Network bullet point. You just poop out. You guys need to shut your sauce boxes, okay? Because you don't understand how America works. And all you're defending is the wealthy individuals that will sell you up the river in a heartbeat. They're excited to lay you off, lay your family off, deny you health care, and you defend them. You understand that, Christopher, Nettle, and Bubbles? What you defend is the people who would lay off your family, lay off your loved ones, take their health care, leave them poor and hungry and hurt in a heartbeat if it saved them a penny. Even if it didn't save them money, if in theory, if it made their stock price go up, and you defend them. Christopher Nettle, you understand that most of the free world, industrialized nations, almost every single one of them, besides America, has guaranteed, entitled their citizens to health care. And somehow you think you're not entitled to health care. But maybe you think United Health developed all these cures on their own. They didn't use tax dollars. They didn't use science from before them. They single-handedly created insulin. You're exhausting with how fucking dumb you are. Just leave. Take away your... Take away your talk box for a few minutes. And you too. You guys are boring me. Add something to the conversation. I talk about this all the time. But Christopher Nettle and Bubbles, you're like, if I wanted to hear what you guys are saying, I'd watch Fox and fucking get a lobotomy. Shut up. I will not take people defending these CEOs, these corporations, these fucking absolute monsters of humans, and then claiming, it's illegals. Yeah, it's a guy at Home Depot trying to get work to fucking live is the reason that America's shit. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, it was like a widely known news story that his employees couldn't take breaks and had to poop in bottles. But yeah, they're the problem. You know, you're just scared or racist. And the entitled comment says to me really that, like, you're entitled. You think you worked hard enough, and I guarantee you wouldn't give credit to anyone in your life, and I'm guessing your parents probably had a heavy fucking hand lifting, to where you've got. And that's the key here, okay? Nobody's self-made. You didn't pave the fucking roads. Everybody needs help. That's what community is. And that's my definition of America, to have a beautiful community. And that means if I pay taxes so a kid don't go hungry, God willing. But for those who have too much already, to be greedy to want even more at the expense of the health of an old person or the health care of a young person, or to ensure, you understand, there are certain people in this country that are not here legally, Elon Musk, that has enough money where he could go 1 in 5 kids go food insecure every night. Not on my watch. I got billions, bitch. Let's fix that. And he hasn't said nothing. You guys are exhausting. But it's good to know what your character is. That's what I understand. That you might wave to your neighbors, claim to be a good guy, post a Jesus thing on Sunday, I'm going to church, but you don't believe in any of it. You don't believe in none of it. You're fake. And I've known illegal immigrants, and I've known legal immigrants. I also think some of this fucking imaginary line shit is so just made up. But, you know, to each their own. You guys keep fighting for the fascist regime. You guys keep supporting Christopher Nettle that the U.S. government use its military in American cities. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that. And there's really people out here like, yep, that's how I want my tax dollars spent. Invade our own cities. God damn. If we just taxed, here's what I'm going to leave you with. You should read too. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You understand, in Massachusetts a few years ago, I really helped push for this millionaire's tax. And when you read any of the literature, the mailers that were being sent out against the millionaire's tax in Massachusetts, they put who it's funded by. They put by this group, and it was all billionaires. Billionaires, people who fucking don't worry about heat in the winter, AC in the summer, food, where their next meals come from. Billionaires were trying to convince people, do not tax us on our millions. We have billions, but don't tax the million part. And it was like a 2-3% tax, right? This just happened in Massachusetts. And I couldn't believe these billionaires, people who have so much, they're like, no, don't do that. It passed. The millionaire's tax in Massachusetts, you could look it up. It passed. And you know what happened after that? Every kid in the state of Massachusetts, every single kid with that tax money now gets free food at school. There is no more student debt for lunches in Massachusetts. Immediate. Also, any person who does not have their bachelor's degree and wants to go back to a state school, a community college, you can do that for free. Immediate. That happened, and I think there was some more, but those are the two major ones. No kid in Massachusetts, they can go to school and just get lunch. You don't have to bring $1.25. I don't know what it is now. It was $1.25 when I was growing up. But you never have to bring money to school again. You can just eat. That's how it should be. That's the fucking American dream, right? Doesn't matter where you come from, what your life is like. You can go to school and at least have a warm meal. And there are adults that are like fucking, no, that's not these entitled kids. Like, fucking go look in the mirror for a minute and re-examine your life. If you're like, kids eating for free? What the shit? It's like, yeah, that's awesome. It's just that simple. I'll save you the politics. That's fucking great. And go look up how kids do when they're not hungry in school. I don't know if you've had any children, but as a dad, I can tell you, when kids are hungry, fucking get out the way. Okay, they don't want to talk to you. They just need that food. And there are people. So you just want to use the 1% as your own little money tree. No, the 1% needs to pay their fair share. They don't. Go look up ass rat. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but that's what it looks like to me. So ass rat. Go look up what the tax rate was in the 50s and 60s. 70s. It wasn't 20% or 17% or whatever Trump's trying to get it down to. It used to be 35%. Now I think it's at 23%. No, I want them to pay their fair share, okay? That's what I want. And I want workers. I want to tax wealth, not work. And if you hear what I'm saying, it's amazing, ass rat. You're defending billionaires. Bill Gates said, I'm going to close my foundation in 2045. He's trying to give all his money away before he dies, and he doesn't know if he can do it. That's how, like, you're talking about people that are kids going hungry and people that have so much money, they're like, I have foundations to try and give it away. And that's what you're defending. I want them to pay their fair share. And this is where, like, you can tell the 1% pays 90%. They don't. Jesus Christ. Oh, the school system has failed us. We need to really, why do you think Donald Trump loves you fucking idiots. Look. This is why he was like, we're defunding the schools. Keep them dumb. And let's just tell them, oh, we pay so much. Look, I paid $1 million. And people are like, oh, gee, Willie, $1 million. And you're like, fuck, they made $1 billion. That's like 0.1%. Oh, God, you people are dumb. Fucking dumb. So dumb. Listen, I implore you to just fucking do a little research. I know I hate saying that shit, but really, you are dumb if you think the 1% are going to be a money tree. No, the 1% don't pay their employees enough, so their employees have to be on Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, so they can't survive. This is the situation. You guys want to look at immigrants as the issue, but I want you to understand who controls everything. The corporations. Why do you think Trump said, we're not going to go after the hotel workers now, and we're not going to go after these workers? Because the fucking CEOs were like, bro, don't fuck with our bag. And the politicians do what they say. You understand me? Somehow you think the most vulnerable people are pulling the fucking strings? God damn. I just wish for a second that America would be like, all right, guys, we got to do public service announcements. The poorest people are not making your life miserable. It's the motherfuckers who have all the money who are going, we paid $1 million in taxes. Some people, there are certain corporations that paid zero in taxes. You understand that? They made billions, millions in this country and paid nothing back. They use our streets, they use our police, they use our fire department, they use our water, they're using up all our water. They don't pay their employees enough. And they sell to you, they also own the media, they sell to you the narrative that it's, those people trying to come into the country for a better life. That's why everything sucks. It's not because you can fucking work 40 hours a week, one job in this country, and not be able to even rent an apartment. You understand that? Do you understand me? There used to be a time in America where people were like, I work 40 hours and I could buy a home and go to school. That's a fucking joke now. And somehow there's motherfuckers in here being like, nope, I think you should work 80 hours and still not be able to rent. Like, you understand, these rich people hoarding all the wealth, they have all of it, are the issue. They got so much money. Elon Musk said, I got too much. I'm going to spend $270 million to try and buy an election. And then he went to Wisconsin and was like, I'm going to throw a shitload of money. They have too much. They're irresponsible with it. And somehow you fucking think it's the people with no money? As a dad, I'm going to say this and I mean it. You've disappointed me. Okay? Don't be fucking stupid. You've disappointed me. And that's coming to you as a dad. Okay, I'm going to use my dad tone with you right now. And you've genuinely disappointed me. I don't know how you've gotten this far in life, but you better thank the motherfuckers that have helped you this far. Because you didn't do it on your own with that kind of fucking logic. You understand me? And I say this with love. Because I believe there's redemption for everybody. Not Don Taco or Elon Musk. Fuck those motherfuckers. Not the healthcare CEOs and all the people who deny your grandmother, your lover, your cousin, your kids. Not the people who are like, no, our profits need to be a little bigger. You don't need that service. You don't need that wheelchair. Fuck those motherfuckers. But I think there's a lot of people that stroll around on YouTube that there's redemption for. So I say this from the bottom of my heart, and I mean it genuinely. I pray that you see a different way. That you find redemption and you start to think, who am I blaming all my issues on? Who am I the maddest at? Is it the people trying to come here and just make a better life like fucking your family did? I would like to know. I should not have blocked them. What tribe are you from? I have Native American friends. What fucking native tribe are you from? Because if not, guess what? Immigrant. I work 40 hours a week, 40 plus hours a week, pay my 2 mortgages just fine. I have 6 kids with my wife. Where do you live, ass rat? Because if you live in Oklahoma or fucking Mississippi or some shit, we don't care. We're talking about everywhere in America. And this is not like this isn't like what I'm trying to get at is, ass rat, you are the exception. Do you not fucking read? You're a machinist. You have to have literacy skills. Go right now to Google and look up, can you work a regular job? You understand the minimum wage was supposed to be what you should be able to make to live. It wasn't supposed to be subpar living. Go look up when FDR fucking put this into effect in the 30s. I've quoted his speech testifying to raising the minimum wage at the State House here in Massachusetts. Go look up what FDR meant. And he said, if your business has to exploit people and can't pay people enough, then it shouldn't exist here in America. Like, this is just, there's precedent. That's what I'm trying to say. God damn it. And I would never shit on you. You know, and plus you put work 40 plus hours. So if you said like, I work 34 hours a week, then I'd be like, great, that's the American dream. $42 an hour. Astrat, just say what state you live in, because I fucking guarantee it's some bumfuck state where it's like, god damn, the whole state's suffering, but at least one person's doing good. $22.50 an hour is barely even livable. Keep in mind that's Oshkosh Corporation wages for a welder. Washington State. Ooh, I love Washington State. I've never been there, but I would love to go there. But what do you live, like way inland? Because I know you don't live in Tacoma or Seattle. I know that as somebody who tried to move there. The house prices are pretty decent compared to where I am, though. Are you union? Let me ask you that. Because that's the difference maker, folks. Join a union. By the way, I didn't realize we got a bunch of people here. Hit no union. Wow, surprising. If you joined the union, your wages would raise by about 15%. $87K a year. The average American makes between $37 and $50K max. Thank you, Hercules balls. This is another reason why I love YouTube, because I get to thank somebody like. You should really change that to Herculean balls, but address you properly, Hercules balls. By the way, I'm Rob. That's Hercules balls. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. I comment on the news and I engage with all of you in your sauce boxes. Here, so join the conversation, and you do that by hitting subscribe and the notification bell. Would you rather cheat on your girl or snitch on your homie? I reject your scenario. I wouldn't do either. It depends how young I was to cheat, because I mean, I think all of us at some point had cheated, and I learned my lesson the hard way, but snitch is not an option. You're right. Thank you, someone who understands. Thank you, Big Loic. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, I'm Rob. I've lived long enough to just fucking understand that here in America, anyone, I'm talking about McDonald's, 40 hours a week, you should be able to buy a home. Why the fuck not? I grew up where we watched The Simpsons, okay? Homer didn't go to college, worked a job where he pressed a fucking button and had a great home with a family. That should not be the exception. That should be how it is. And we could do that. But guess what? Wages have stagnated. The federal minimum wage has stayed at $7.25 since 2009. Meanwhile, Congress keeps giving themselves raises. And you know who lobbies against it? The corporations. I just want people to understand that. Did you hear Taco releasing? Hold on. Phone company. Oh, I was talking about that yesterday. Binkers Gaming. Claimed to be made in America. No, it is not. Nothing he makes is in America. I always, listen, real quick, because I talked about this yesterday, link in yesterday's live. I think it's absolutely fucking insane. Could you imagine if Obama was like, I know everybody jokes about the Obama phone, you know, like the low-income phone, but could you imagine if Obama was like, yo, I'm dropping a phone? And not now, like during his presidency. Could you imagine if the Pope came out and was like, you want the best you want the holy smokes of cell service ever? Well, me and my man Jesus are dropping a new phone plan. Like, people would be, I don't know, maybe enough people are like, I reject this. I reject your narrative. I reject this situation. But this is not okay. Never mind the emoluments clause and why it shouldn't be okay. But this dude is like clearly making capitalism the presidency and deteriorating the seat of what used to be the most powerful country in the world. And now it's a joke. You know, he's basically turned like his parade where it was Coinbase behind American tanks. And I'm like, this is like some bad fucking movie, some Zack Snyder fucking shit, you know, where you're like, God, who wrote this? Who directed this? This is fucking awful. It's too cheesy. I'm not a liberal. I'm a far left radical wokeist, Bestrada. Don't call me a liberal. I'm not one of them progressive pieces of shit. I think everyone should be able to get in a fucking ambulance and not have to pay a cent. Have the 1% pay for it. If, you know, they've had it good long enough. They've had it too good long enough. I'm so fucking woke, I think you should be calling ambulances because they're cheaper than Ubers. Right now, people are calling Ubers instead of an ambulance. I want to flip that shit. I want everybody to have free ambulance rides. I think all your prescriptions should be free. ER, don't matter. You could show up. Don't worry about medical debt. That's who I am, okay? And I know all you maggots are like, no, we want poor people to disappear, and we just all want to be able to worship Trump. Well, fuck you. Is that simple enough? Go suck Charlie Kirk's butthole. All right? I don't know if I can say that on here, but it just felt appropriate. If they get to spout their nonsense, I should be able to tell you to go pucker to his butt. You know? They're anti-American, you know? They are the worst people in the world. I say universal basic income, affordable living, affordable food. Fuck this shit, man. Matthew, nothing in the world is free. It always costs, come at a cost. All right, so let's make the rich people pay for it. They got they've been living on their high horse for too good, folks. I'm done with people picking on immigrants and vulnerable people and poor people. Oh, they stole bread, send them to jail. Fuck that. These corporations stole your wages. Wage theft, largest theft in America. Look it up. They've had it too good for too long, folks. It's time to take this country back. Billionaires have never worked a day in their life, and they've been given everything, Timothy. Good to see you, buddy. Go get a job. You go get a job. Fuck a dream job. I just have a dream, bitch. Full audio or whatever your name is. You're like, oh, I work harder than you. I don't give a shit. Is that what you want to brag about? I care more about people. Fuck you. I love it. You see, that's where you got me all wrong. You don't understand. My narrative isn't your narrative. You can say you work harder than me all day. I don't fucking care. And guess what? Your boss doesn't either. Keep waiting for that raise, buddy. Keep waiting for that holiday fucking bonus when you get a cheese platter. You think your bosses care. Yeah, they'll pat you on the head. Ain't gonna give you any of that money. I care for people more. That's where you're gonna get me. Show me how much you care. Let's make that. Oh, and there we go. We go right to the crack pipe. Oh, what? You couldn't handle it? Snowflake, you couldn't handle? Did I told you that your boss is gonna give you a fucking jam platter for your holiday bonus? Back when I was growing up, you used to get cash, big bonus. Look, go watch the movies. Chevy Chase, he was going to put in a pool. Now that don't exist. They give you a fucking certificate for a tree. And that's not a joke. I witnessed that. I experienced that. I want to change America. I want to go back, you know? It used to be the customer was always right. And then it was we care for our employees. And now it's our shareholders are always right. Remember that. I'm fucking teaching you people. I'm in heavy equipment sales. I make my own bonuses. Good for you, confessions. But if you're in sales, you only make them because somebody fucking set that rate. And guess what? You're not making that much. Prison education. Attack the argument, not the person, folks. Oh, who's that? Cannibal Joker. Jesus. Leave it to Cannibal Joker to be the one talking sense. I get 8 to 10 grand for a bonus and I work all the time and travel. Awesome. So, Dean, are you saying that America's fine? Remember, folks, I'm not talking about my circumstances. I'm talking about the overall fucking vibe here. It's always profits over people. Yup. Thank you, Alma. If 310 isn't a lot, then okay, it's all relevant. It's not when it comes to measurements of love, Jack's Cab. That 310, look at Elon Musk. He makes billions and he still doesn't feel loved. That's really what life is about. Nobody goes to the grave, and I know this. I've had a lot of people die. Nobody goes to the grave going, I just wish I made more. Why do you think there's rich people like Bill Gates? No joke. He's trying to give away all his money. Warren Buffett trying to give away all his money. If money is the fucking key to all this shit, you know, why are they all trying to give it away? Because they realized, you know, oh, we won the capitalism game. We got it all, and it meant nothing. It's sad. Especially when they understand what it does mean is access, health, time. And they refuse to give it to other people. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody joining me. I encourage you all 106 of you in here, to hit that subscribe button. Even you maggots. I have faith in my fellow Americans. And if any of you maggots are posting stuff about Jesus, you know that guy. I want you to go read what he said about loving your neighbor and who your neighbor is. I want you to understand what he said about poor people, what he said about children, and how he spoke to authority. You might have a bad pastor. You might have Joel Osteen as a pastor. He blocked me on Twitter. I just kept quoting Jesus at him, and he couldn't handle it. Snowflake. So hit subscribe, because I'm going to change your mind. We're going to change this world together. I can't do it without you. Hit subscribe. Hit the drug dealers welcome too. That's fine. That doesn't mean let your neighbor walk all over you. Matthew, are you unaware of it might even be in your book in the Bible where he said turn the other cheek. But that's okay. We all have a lot to learn. What did Jesus say about drug dealers? Well, you know he loved cannabis. I mean, that guy wore a fucking moccasins and a drug rug, so, and he never carried cash, so. But much love to you guys. Okay. Austin, I'm not going to buy into any of that bullshit. If you're a Christian, a little Christ, you're going to listen to what Jesus said, okay? Don't read Paul's stuff. Just listen to what Jesus said. Go read the woe to the Pharisees. Go read the story about him when they turned his father's house into a marketplace and he flipped over tables, called them a den of vipers. You should read our Constitution about monarchies. Pinkers Gaming, you better hit subscribe and the notification bell. Fire commentary, fire conversation. Fire conversation. Thank you, guys. I wouldn't be proud of that, Amanda. Turning things red just means that you're trying to hurt the most vulnerable and you're defending corporations and the wealthiest people in the world. But, you know, I don't know who you're bragging towards. It's not working for me, but much love. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I wish you the best. And remember, when you start blaming people for issues, I want you to think, you know, are you focused on people who have nothing and are trying to better their situation? Or are you looking at the real people who have control and the money and what they're manipulating the media and their politicians to do? We need money out of politics, Flo. All right, guys. Much love. Binkers, thank you. Funny stuff today. I already did. Need to support more sane people, right? No more monarchies, no kings. Link for the next protest, July 17th. Largest one this weekend, no kings. Link for the next one. Do your part, okay? Much love. Hit subscribe. Peace.